I have said this before, but I shall say it again and again. Your boys are not going to be sent into any foreign war.
In 1940, Franklin Roosevelt campaigned on the promise to keep the nation out of foreign entanglements, well aware that the American voter had no taste for war. But the president and the country had cause for alarm. With each passing month, the Axis powers' tide of aggression spread, threatening to engulf the world. By the fall of 1941, Adolf Hitler's Blitzkrieg had crushed resistance across Europe, leaving a wake of death and destruction. A Nazi invasion of Britain was stalled, but Hitler vowed to smash the island nation. Half a world away in the Pacific, Japan's Minister of War, Hideki Tojo, forged a brutal reputation with a murderous invasion of Manchuria and an attack on French Indochina. On December 7, 1941, the foreign war came to America. In the space of 2 hours, a Japanese air assault on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, decimated the U.S. Pacific Fleet and killed nearly 2,500 servicemen. Within 3 days, the world was at war. The president braced the country for the challenges that lay ahead.
We are now in this war. We're all in it, all the way. Every single man, woman, and child is a partner in the most tremendous undertaking of our American history.
Just 2 years earlier, the U.S. military was weak and the nation ill-prepared for battle. But as events overseas became increasingly ominous, the country began to rebuild its armed forces. December 7th shocked the nation into dramatic action. Remember Pearl Harbor became America's battle cry. Eager young men, anxious to fight, flocked to armed services recruiting offices. Over 5 million volunteered for duty. 10 million more were drafted during the war. After 8 weeks of basic training, these new recruits were battle-trained and ready to fight. New soldiers were given uniforms, weapons, supplies, and standard haircuts. Everything they needed was government issue. It wasn't long before soldiers themselves were being referred to as government issue or GIs. Americans from all walks of life and ethnic backgrounds signed up for the armed forces. Over 1 million African Americans served during the war, though segregation and prejudice forced them into support positions until near the end of the war. Women joined the fight too. During the war, over 250,000 women served in many roles throughout the world, such as pilots, nurses, and mechanics.